about effective negotiation. You know the way the competition is growing and everybody is wanting to do better. Customer wants a reduced price. Even in the work environment, people are reducing the number of staff and everybody has to do more staff, more work. So what's happening? Everybody needs to try to negotiate with the boss on the job. They need to negotiate with the customer to get the best possible price, okay, or the best possible deal. Okay. So quickly, if I analyze this, we will look at this in a few areas, the content, okay, where we'll try to, first we get into the introduction part, and that will be followed up by the application, how do we apply the whole system, the types of negotiation, the key skills required, fundamentals, steps to negotiation, and trading concession. Okay. Now, if you look at it, if I ask any of you a question, what do you mean by negotiation? What is the question we would get? Okay, can anybody say what do they understand by the word negotiation? Can you say what do you understand by the word negotiation? Something comes into your mind? Yeah? Demanding? Demanding, fantastic. So you demand for something, you say this is what I want. This is what I want, right? That's what we try to say. Then what is bargaining? Then what is bargaining? Yeah, bargaining is a win-win, is it? Yeah, that's the problem. Like we saw about hearing and listening, we need to understand between bargaining and negotiation. Okay? It is a very, very important tool. What we try to do is actually bargain, but what people look for is effective negotiation. Like you rightly said, is it a win-win situation? And there has been a lot of change. Today, if you look back in the world, the way the products have grown, if I ask any of you a question, a simple question, how many car companies do we have in the country today? How many car companies do we have? Roughly 5, 6, 7, more than that. And every company has more number of models. Few years back, how many companies did we have? Just 2 or 3. So what has happened? Competition is hurting up. So every person is trying to do the best. And when you look at any of you, all of you have bought mobiles, right? You all have got a mobile. Did you go to one shop or you try to look at it in 2, 3 places? 2, 3 places. Did you also go and just go by visit, or you also went to the net, did a small research, asked 5 of your friends, everything? So before going, you are completely prepared. You are completely prepared. So imagine the person on the opposite side, how he has to be. One side you are knowledgeable, the other side you are here to demand a lot of things. At the same time, he has to behave in such a way that he gets the results. And that's what we are going to understand, the concept of negotiation, which is what we say in terms of negotiation. So if you look at the negotiation as a definition, okay, what do we say? It takes place when 2 or more people with different view attempt to reach agreement on some issues. Okay, gone are the days where we could say we could have a complete solution. Again, why is negotiation taking place? Because I am thinking A, the other guy is thinking Z. Right? Even if you look at a quote what I gave a price X with certain terms and condition, but the other guy is asking for something else. Okay? This reminds me, the other day when I was going into the field with a few people and I was doing some field study with some sales guys, he says, where are you going? I'm going to meet a customer. Why? He says, no sir, we have given a quote, I'm going there to talk to them, and I saw his voice very low. I said, why the hell is your voice so low? Why are you so depressed about it? He has called you. No sir, they have already decided, sir. They have already decided. Then my question is, why are you going for the negotiation? Okay. One more guy when I go with, no sir, we have quoted payment terms as 50% advance, and they are saying they will not give advance. My company is saying we need advance. What is the use, sir? No use at all. Okay. So again the question is, what are we talking about? Then why are we talking about negotiation? Can you get people who are in line with your thinking? No. When does a negotiation take place? It happens at home also. You think one thing, your parents think differently. Okay? You think differently. Your friend thinks something, you think something. That's when all the negotiation takes place. So when we talk about negotiation, I want all of you to understand that it is when people have different view. And that's not the way to look at it in a negative manner. Wherever you are, people will have different view. It happens in college also. Suddenly you find that your teacher will announce a surprise test. We'll have a test in so many portions tomorrow. What happens to you immediately? My God, I'm not really prepared. Why is she suddenly having a test? She should not have a test. Because your views are different, her views are different. Okay. But at the same time, can I become negative there? No. So basically we say, what am I supposed to do? Okay. People are there. He's saying 50% advance. I'm saying, he's saying no advance. So what do I do? That's where we need to understand. If the person has called you, what does it mean? That there is a scope. There is an openness. And that's what we say. It's a form of communication. Please note this carefully. There's a lot of change today. Okay, if you look at the customer is a boss, customer is very highly knowledgeable. It's a form of communication. I call it a persuasive communication. In other words, requesting politely, putting it across in a way the other person does not feel hurt. It is not saying what you want, making statements, this is as per our terms and condition, as per our policy, is not going to help you. So basically we say it's about having a dialogue in the best possible way to benefit both parties. Okay, so if I'm going to go in for a negotiation, how is it going to benefit both the parties? So what do I mean by negotiation? Now let me ask a question to the group here. I know we are all very, very tired. I can see down faces. Let me ask a question. Now you are suddenly told by your teacher or by your HOD or by your lecturer that there is going to be a test on 5 chapters on 2 days later. It has been announced. Now that is something which surely is not in line with your thinking. Okay. Now what do? Okay. How will you handle it? You are not really open to take the test. You are not ready. Surely you cannot take the decision. The decision is the decision of the lecturer. So how do you take it forward? Now she or she says, we would like to have a test for 5 chapters which would happen 2 days later. Let's say today is a Saturday. I'm planning to have it on a Tuesday. How will you handle it? What will you say? Anybody here? Don't tell me I can't tell anything to my lecturer. I'm sure you can approach your lecturers and ask him postpone. Why should I postpone? Huh? I am the lecturer, you are the boss. We can't. See, who's the boss? Is that a politeness there? We can't do 5 units. Then it's going to hurt the person, isn't it? If you get time, you will do better. That's why I'm giving you 2 days time, isn't it? I think that's enough for these 5 chapters. Very easy chapters. Huh? See, like this only you told me last time, but still you didn't do well. What happened? Last time all of you asked me, I gave you 2-day extension, but finally I found all performances were the same. Yeah? Yeah? Give you one more chance. What is that chance you are looking at? Extra time to prepare. Okay, chalo. I'll give you, instead of the test in the first period, I'll do it in the 5th period. What? No. No means what? Yeah. No, not on Tuesday. So when do you want it? By Tuesday, is it a bad day? When is the Rao column? We'll see a different good time there, isn't it? I think you guys are doing well, absolutely well, but still missing it out. Look at it carefully. How do you make it a win-win? Look at it. It should be win to both the parties. So my subject is not useful. My God, I'm upset about this. No, okay, we will take. What did I say there? Please read the second sentence. What is it written? Can you read it? Or it's here also? So when you say we will take, is it requesting or telling? Reduce the portion. Again, is she requesting or is she telling? Or is she ordering me? Mind you, the person is on the other side, he is on the higher platform. Just imagine, if I have an ego, the other person has a higher ego. Yeah. Everyone will pass. So you are telling for everybody. Are you sure? Everyone will pass. Is there any guarantee for that? You will prepare very well. And I won't see you loitering around in the evening in the campus. Sure. Yeah? Positively. So what are you telling? What do you want exactly? Postpone the day. Okay. But then what will I get if I postpone the day? You will be writing well? Positively? Can I get that as a guarantee? Okay, let me think about it. Let me think about it. That negotiation is not that easy, isn't it? But yeah, what did we all try to do? You were trying to persuade me. You are trying to. But you see, there were some statements you were using. What was the statement you were saying? Reduce the portion. We will write only 2. Now, is that acceptable? No. Surely not acceptable. All the way, what are you saying? This is what it is. And that's what we are trying to say. It's a form of persuasion communication, requesting politely. The other person should feel. Don't feel that automatically why is negotiation taking place? Because we are on different terms. So where is the question of getting worried that the thinking is not there? Thinking is not there, that is why. But the other person is not a devil. He is not. Like I said, I go into the field and the guy says, they have already decided, then why the hell are you going? Don't go. Why are you going? Because it's not matching. It is not matching. But they have called you for a negotiation. There is an opportunity. Give it a try. Give it an attempt. And while doing that, can I do it in a way which is comfortable to the other person? So absolutely right, like you rightly said, when you are talking about negotiation, when we talk about persuasive communication, I want all of you to understand that it's about working on the deal, like you were trying to do here. What were you trying to do? You see, once you say you want to accept it, why should somebody accept what you say? Do you have all your arrows ready? You got to fire. You don't know which arrow is going to hit the thing. You have seen the Mahabharata. Arjuna carries those arrows along with him. Right? Which arrow does he fire? Does he fire all the arrows? No. What does he do? Which one does he fire? The one depending on what is coming. And are you sure that one arrow will give him the victory? No. You don't know which is going to give a victory. So don't get, we all feel when I'm negotiating, I say something, chapter is closed. Okay. And surely I have seen so many times, 26 years now I'm in the corporate world. Okay, handling more than 250 accounts across the globe. First thing when it starts in a negotiation table, the first thing the guy tells me, Mr. Chandok, your price is not what we are looking at. If you can reduce the price, let's take it forward. Otherwise, don't waste my time. That's the first statement I face. But let me tell you, that's where I realize, fantastic. That means he's thinking about me. Otherwise, why is he calling me? Why is he calling me? If that is the case, he wouldn't have called me for the negotiation. Nah, he could always send a mail, sorry, your proposal is rejected. So you please think about it. And if you feel you can do something about it. Now look at the other statement. You feel you can do something about it. This is where the listening comes into play. You feel you can do something about it. So what is the signal he has given me? He is thinking about me. So there is a scope. But he very clearly said, if you are not looking at it, don't waste my time. Don't get worried by those negative words. You are going to face this in the corporate world. People are going to be like that. Customer in Hindi, what we say, kash se marne wala, customer. Custom kudukrama, customer. But finally, who gives us the bread, butter, jam and everything? The customer. And he has the right to speak. He will always try to put, but he's not a bad guy. You want to be a good negotiator, understand this concept. I got to go, still got to be polite and put in my best. So what does that mean? I have to work on the deal. It's not going to happen overnight. The issue with most of the people, they feel one meeting, it should close. Why should it close? Or straight away the person should say, yeah, this is it. No, he is already not. He is thinking differently. He is in a different platform. So basically we say it's about creating a dialogue. You get the dialogue going, movement going, and initially whatever you say, he will be firing AK-47s at you because he is the customer. That's the way it is. He is going to fire AK. If he doesn't fire, then he is not a customer. Then he is surely not a customer. So you have to create, it's about creating a dialogue, and while doing that, you move ahead step by step creating value. Yeah, I understand about my price, but can I say what is this I would like to look at? I have an experience so and so. I have already done. I do understand that you people are looking for these elements. You start creating the value in the mind of the customer. But at every stage, it's all being put across very, very politely to the other person so that he values what you are saying. Okay. Now, for example, if you look at the whole process, this was one example. Today, let me ask a question. You know, today even at home, this is very, very applicable. You want your child to study. You want your child to study for 2 hours. You know, how can you make the child study for 2 hours? Let's say you're the father or the mother. When you tell the child to study, can we tell the child that I want you to study from 4 to 6? 4 to 6 you play. Every day I want to study. I want you to study from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. What do you think will be the response from the other side? 7 o'clock, Papa, I have got to see Mr. Bean. Right? So what do I do? You can't. But you want him or her to study. How will you put it across? It's all a negotiation. It's all a negotiation. How will you put it across to the person? How do you put it across to a child that I want you to study for 2 hours every day? Can you tell the child directly, I want you to study? No. So what is it that we need to do over there? Now if you've understood, because whatever I'm going to say, the child is going to say, no. What do I do there? Yeah? Can I blindly tell him that? No. So what do I tell him? Why don't you study for 2 o'clock, there 2 hours. I leave it to you when you study. But I want you to study for 2 hours. And if you do that, you can be rest assured that this weekend, I will take you out for a dinner or a movie, or I'll buy you a Pokemon cards. Then the child starts thinking. Then the child will say, okay, I will study, but I'll study 6 to 7. 7 to 7:30, I will see Mr. Bean. Then I'll study 7:30 to 8. Now what have you done over here? Everywhere you have created a persuasive mechanism. And that's why when we talk about this, what we say, it's about requesting and politeness. Customer can be rude, but I still need to be polite. I need to put it across in a way that he or she understands. And remember, always in the life, you have always heard a very important proverb. It is always called give and take. Have you ever heard take and give any time? Have you heard anybody saying take and give? That's the problem with most of us. We want to take, and we don't want to give. If I am going to sit on a negotiation table like with anybody, okay, I need to understand that if I have to be effective, I need to create a lot of agreement and compromises. Now many people tell me, sir, you are learning negotiation. I thought I should get what I want. Yes, my dear. Only when you give, you will take. When you show people that you are ready to, I'm not saying give it freely. When you show people you are ready to give, only then they will open up. Okay, there was a time when our father used to say, you study for 3 months, get good marks, I will get you cycle. But today it is a reverse. You have to tell the child, here Baba, take the cycle, now you please study. It has changed drastically. And everybody should feel, if I am on a negotiation table, am I creating agreement and compromise? Like I tell the first thing to a guy, you are now going for a negotiation. Okay, so what is your plan for negotiation? He'll say, jaake dekhenge. I will go there and decide. What nonsense. It depends. My question here is, you are going for a negotiation, you got to be polite. Do you have something what you could look at? Now let's look at the example. I am saying 50% advance, and the guy is saying we will not give advance. Right? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying 50% advance. He says, no, I will not give. advance. I am saying price 100. He's saying, no, I want it at a price 80. Now tell me, what are the compromises we can create over there? Is my point clear to you? I am saying price 100. He says price 80. I am saying 50% advance. He says 0 advance. First thing, like I told you, take it positive. Nothing to worry. That's what negotiation is all about. Because if you worry, you lose it right away. You lose the game internally. Now tell me, what is the compromise? Those of you having a book, just can be noted down and tell me, I am saying 100. Now just look at it. What I have put, areas of agreement and compromise. Agreement is the ability to give. I am saying 100 and you are saying 80. I am saying 50%, you are saying 0%. So what are the compromises you can build over here? What is it that you can give to this person? Just think, he is not a devil. He is not here to kill you. He is a customer or he is a person with a different view. What is it that you can give over there? Can we create a compromise there? What can I give? What are my compromises? Can I stick to the 50%? Yes or no? No. So what can I compromise over here? Can you tell me? What can I give this guy? He says 0% advance. I say 50% advance. I say the price is 100. He says the price is 80. Now I am going there to him. You understood? So he says 80 and 0. But like I told you, he's a customer. You have to create a dialogue. Okay. Before going, what are the compromises you are ready with to this person? Yeah. So what is that lesser amount you can think of? Depends on the situation. Where is, I have said 100, maybe maximum I can go to, ideal is 90. So can I say, okay, 95 and then come down to 90. And what is the payment terms? I said 50%. Can I stick on to it? No. So what do I say? Maybe 40, maybe 35. Now when I tell that to you, what happens? I start like that. Automatically I say, sir, I would be happy to do it at 0%, but something difficult. Why don't we look at 35%? Now, how would you respond if I say this to you? Let's look at 35%. How would you respond? Let's say you have been saying 0%. I say, sir, I'm starting it off saying, boss, why don't we look at 35% advance? What would you say? Huh? Positive way. So what would you say over there if I say 35%? But remember, you had said 0%. Absolutely. What would you say? No, 35 is too much. You have to make the guy play into the dialogue. That's the skill of a good negotiator. He'll say, no, 35 is too much. But he's happy that from 50 you came to 35. This is where the one more very important aspect I left out, which is a mistake most of the people do, is they get under so much of pressure while discussing with the customer that straight away they give everything. Never quote the least. Always keep a buffer. Because remember, you got to create a compromise. You go to a customer, he puts in a lot of pressure, he tells, yeah, you see, we believe in the L1 concept. If your price is not suitable, we have other quotes which are lower, so give your lease. So you go to your boss and ask him, he says, okay, no problem, you reduce 10%. So from 100, he said, you can give it at 90. So what do? Straight away quote 90. But customer needs something more always. So it has to be smart enough. If boss has said give it at 90, I need to give it at 95. So that I keep a 5. And when I show that compromise, the person is very, very happy. So that is when he gets into a mood of agreement. Now what I tell you, sir, not 100. Okay, I understand you are looking at it for 80. Can we look at it at 95? How would the other person respond? Mind you, he is happy that you are coming down. You have created an emotional touch there. That's very important. But if you are straight away quoted 90, you have no scope. Remember, you can come up to 90. You can come down up to 90, but you said 95. Then what do you say? No, it's too much. Chalo, 82. 83 for your sake. He says, why not 94? And that's where the negotiation starts working. So you need to understand, whenever you are in the field of negotiation, am I able to create agreements and compromises? and always be ready with the compromise. Now let me ask the same question to your teacher. The teacher says 5 lessons and Tuesday. Now let me say, what is the compromise you first? Don't ask first. First show what you can deliver to her. What can you commit to her? Then you will find she'll be ready to listen to you. No ma'am, we can't do on Tuesday. 5 lesson is too much. She said, take a walk. I am the teacher, not you. Now tell me, what is the compromise? What is it, the benefits you can show? What are you ready to give the teacher for making the slight change? What can you tell her? Lecturer or your teacher or your HOD? What can you say? Look at it from the negotiation elements. Pardon? Yeah. What will you say? You are ready to compromise on what? You want her to change the date. You want her to maybe reduce the lesson. So what are you ready to commit? Yeah, give us some more time. I assure you we all will do better. What I suggest is, now you keep it, but next time we will not ask you for the change. So somewhere she sees some benefit in what you are telling her. That's what is called as a win and win-win situation, or simply putting it out. Please note this, you have always read everywhere that it is always a give and take. Many people ask me, negotiation you are teaching, my guys, we want them to get more. Yeah, I'm not saying give away everything at a loss, but it's a skill. People should feel that this person is helping them. That's why I say, never give the least, never start with the ideal, always keep a buffer and go step by step. And that is the concept of persuasive communication. And that's where we say, it's a process, not a quick fix. Don't get into the quick fix mode. Don't get desperate. Always put it across in a way where people feel more comfortable. Now tell me, you want your father to send you money to buy a new mobile. Let's say the smartphones which are now coming. You want to buy a mobile which is a few thousand rupees more. Okay, and you tell your dad, I want to buy a mobile which costs 26,000, the Xperia X. And your dad says, no, nothing more than 10,000. How would you negotiate there? Come on. Which is a very common experience we all have nowadays. We can live without a wife, but not without a mobile. Right? Yeah, I always tell people, you go out in the morning, you go 2-3 kilometers, and you suddenly remember that you have not taken your mobile. What will you do? Reverse back. You go back. Now, the next day you went 2-3 kilometers ahead and you forgot your wife. What will you do? I'm sure you'll go forward faster. Let me not say it too loud, my wife is here. Okay, so it does make a lot of difference. That's the way. So now tell me, what are the compromise? See, it's not that your father is saying he will not give you, but he says 10K is right enough. You are a student, but you are very keen. You want to buy a smart mobile, which is more costly, which could be about 20K. Now tell me, very simple, like you just saw anger management, show an anger. Shouted him. That's not the way. You should learn how to do it in a way, requesting politely. So how would you get it? What are the giveaways? What are you ready to give? What are you ready to take? Come on. First, what is the compromise? Mind you, you are asking for a mobile costing 25. Your dad is saying 10. You're clear what I'm saying? So what is the compromise first you're ready? What is it that you're going to give to make it a win-win? Please understand, your dad or the other person is not against you. If the person is talking to you, that's the first thing I tell a negotiator. If he's talking to you, that's it. That's an opportunity. That's all. If he doesn't meet you, then there is no opportunity. It's not a negotiation at all. Yeah, what would you do? Now look at it. First tell me what are the compromises. First think on that. Think what is it I could. First think that way. Don't think what I need. Go for the give and take. Go for the agreements and compromises. Yeah. Get your mind to that. Yeah, I will score more marks. You have been asking me to get a 9 CGPA, or I will get it. Whether we get, we don't know. I'm sure he'll tell you, I know what you'll do. But still, okay, I'll give a 9. I will try to get a higher CGPA. What else can you say? Yeah. Okay, but then why do you need? You have Wi-Fi in college. I've given you a bloody laptop also. Come on, Dad. I'm your dad. Huh? What portable? Oh, you want to keep carrying it around, huh? Huh? Come on. Come on. I don't find you giving me more compromise. You got to make me feel, yeah. Then only I may accept your point. Okay. So that means I have to spend for that also. Huh? You're doing a project. How will that help? Come on. It'll help me in my internship. Okay. But I still don't find any more compromises to your dad yet. Yeah? I'm not saying I won't get you. I'll get you a 10K but not a 25K. See, you guys are not ready to come down from 25, huh? Okay, you can immediately open, you can create that compromise. Okay, it will help me. Are you sure you will get a better CGPA? Sure? Okay, let me think. I'll talk to your mom and get back to you. I'll talk to your mom and get back to you. So see what we try to do. We try to create a lot of compromise. And that's what I want all of you to understand. Negotiation is not a war. It's a friendly dialogue. When you are negotiating, people are in the opposite pole. Doesn't mean he or she is against you. It also happens at home, number of times with your wife, with your child, even in your college. Everywhere you face people. When do you negotiate? When it's different. For example, even in college, Sunday suddenly you all want to go for a movie. So there will be one group will say we'll go for Tamil movie. One group will say we'll go for English movie. Do we face that? Then what happens? Damal, Dimil. One goes this side, one goes. Is that what? Now look at it. What can I do there? What do I do? I need to go with all of them. So where is the compromise? First create it. Because remember one thing. When you create those compromises, that's where you create a win for the other person. The person helps you to win. That's why you say it's a win-win deal. The win-win does not mean 100% satisfaction, but it is some basic compromises. And that's what we need to create. Tomorrow if I'm asking something to anybody, I'm going to negotiate because his and my thinking are opposite poles. Let me talk what I could give them rather than what I need to take. When you show people you're ready to trade your concessions, okay, people are much, much more happy. For that I always say never quote the least. Okay, I'm not saying quote the highest, but always keep a buffer. Okay, remember customer is a customer. The person on the other side is at a higher pedal. He needs to feel a little more comfortable, which would help him, right? So thank you all very much and happy negotiation personally and in future when you get into the corporate world. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Arvind.